predictions of my demise are premature. That famous quote might have been said by a sedan. For the 2022 model year, Audi has completely redesigned the 3 Series sedan. It is what Audi calls the approachable Audi, and it is where many Audi owners start their journey. Pricing starts at about $33,000, and you can get all in with a top line, larger engine, every feature for under $60,000. So there are a lot of great features and a lot of great details that you can have in a very approachably priced Audi. The 3 Series is comprised of 3 different models. There's the A3, which is really more of a touring sedan. There is the S3, which is the sport mode, and it has a larger engine. And then there is the RS3, which will be coming later this year, which is the race sport trim. And that is for people whose weekend plans include a trip to the track. The A3 starts at about $33,000. Add $2,000 for all-wheel drive, which Audi calls Quattro. And the S trim starts at about $42,000. The A3 has a 4-cylinder turbo engine and about 200 horsepower. The S3 also has a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, but has 306 horsepower. It also has sport tuning, sport suspension, larger wheel options, and some other features that make sport driving really fun. And all the 2022 models have a new honeycomb grille. The S Series has a larger air intake over here and is noted by the S3 badge here on the front grille. The interior of the 3 Series sedans have been completely redesigned for 2022, and that is great news. Not that it wasn't beautiful before, but now it's really driver focused. So you'll notice here this whole new dash that is angled towards the driver. The driver information screen, which Audi calls the digital cockpit, is right here, and it's a fully digitized screen. You can actually click through to just choose this view that you like, and then you can choose the details that you have on display here. So if you want to see your driving specs, or you want to see whatever it is that you'd want to see, you can select there, and then you can actually I love this. You can actually zoom in or zoom out, and you have this option of this really cool satellite type image that gives you, so you can really see where you are in the streets and creeks and other things around you. That same map view is also available here on the multimedia system. So you can get that map view. You have some other options as well. And let's see, and then you can set things however you'd like to have them. Under this MMI, there are a lot of great options here too. So they're the phone apps. You can connect Apple CarPlay or Android Auto wirelessly or with the tethered with the charge cord. You can set up your vehicle details here. So you can set up your driver assistance systems, for example. So you can get your turn these things on or off if you don't want adaptive cruise, if you don't want the distance warning, if you don't want the side assist, you can actually turn those things off. And then you even have traffic light information, which is pretty cool. And then also over here, one of the things that I really love though is this. So under the map, under navigation, if you search for something and you're not really sure what you want, you can actually write it BOULDER. And so then the system will actually give you some options of where you want to go based on what you wrote on the screen. If you don't want to do that, you can actually also go back to the keyboard and key things in. But even better than that, you can do this. Hey Audi, can I have directions to Boulder, Colorado?
I have turned on complete voice guidance.
Thank you. So the system, we designed some of these things down here in the command center. So in addition to the phone box, which is right here, so there is the phone box has the wireless phone charger. You connect wirelessly to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There are 2 USB-C ports here. And then this whole box is actually connected to the antenna on the roof of the car, so you have an enhanced phone signal, better than what you might have if the phone were literally just sitting here in the cubby. Over here are your driver select modes, so you can see this is where you're going to toggle through to get dynamic or to set up your own individual settings, however you'd like steering, suspension, and your drive feel to be. And then, but I prefer just to go straight into dynamic, which is really nice. And then here you can turn off your traction control, you can turn off the auto stop start, and then there's park assist. And this allows you to actually perpendicular or parallel park by, this is park assist, perpendicular or parallel park a car just by pushing this button and driving forward and following the prompts on the screen. You can see here, you can perpendicular park, or here you can parallel park. So you just pick the one that you want. Another really cool feature though is this, check this out. Woo! So the volume has actually, it's no longer a knob in the A3 and the S3. It is this touch sensor, and you just scroll your finger to turn up or down the volume, which you can also do with this wheel here on the steering wheel. So you can also adjust your volume there too. This also allows you to scroll through the radio stations by tapping these buttons, and then you can also tap this to mute the system. Another very cool feature that you'll find on the 2022 3 Series from Audi is this is the gear selector. So you push it forward for reverse, pull it back for drive and sport, and push that button for park. The thing that I like so much about this type of system is that these are really all electric now, or electronic. They are no longer the mechanical shift levers. So we don't need that big shifter. Now we have all this open space. Space for the phone box, space for this kind of technology, and then of course space for our engine stop start button, which is here on the center console rather than behind the steering wheel where you can't reach.
Your mobile device is still in the vehicle.
That's pretty cool too. My question is, sedans, yay or nay? Well, there's a lot of yay to be had. And I think also a lot of yay to be had for a 200 horsepower sedan. I'm a little surprised. I thought 200 horsepower would not be enough power to get over those hills and around the curves and have a little fun. I also questioned whether or not 200 horsepower would be enough for the drive modes, to drive in sport mode. So I'm going to pop it into sport mode in a minute and put it to the test. Hey Audi, tune the radio station.
You can operate everything that is currently being shown in the display by voice. To go back a step, simply say correction.
Set the temperature to 68 degrees, please.
I am lowering the temperature to 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
Thank you. So that's one of the things that I really love in cars right now. They call it voice first. And the idea is that you can, as a driver, get in and ask for whatever it is you want and need. You no longer need to spend your time playing with the infotainment system, looking at things, trying to figure things out. You can just ask the car to do the function, perform the function that you want. The E has a lot of really nice handling. It has really nice acceleration. It's got good torque numbers. It's got more torque than horsepower, which is what you want for quick acceleration from a traffic light or stop sign, or for merging onto the highway. Over here you'll see Audi's digital cockpit, and so I'm able to, this is an all digital system. It is the driver information screen basically, but because it's a fully digital screen, you're able to scroll through different functions and set it up however you'd like to see it. I have it set up to display my map here, but you can look at different things. You can set up the different gauges and see the feedback that you want to see. If you're driving in sport mode, or if you're on a particularly sporty road and want to see your sport specs, your performance specs, then you can set it up to look at those things. You can also set it up to look at things like your radio station or the driver assistance features that are enacted. So it's nice to be able to customize that and be able to see the things that you want to see rather than just a static, predetermined, here's your tachometer and here's your speedometer. Because really, whoever looks at a tachometer anymore, I know I don't ever look at a tachometer, even when I'm using it. So I'm going to see if I can change this. So you might be able to see here, I changed my view. So now it's all map. And I have my speedometer over here on the right and my tachometer over there on the left. And then let's go into use our paddle shifters. So right now I'm in 4th gear. It says M4, meaning manual 4. And I can actually go up to manual 5 and pick up a little speed. And then if I want to slow the car a little bit without using my brake, I can actually downshift. And you'll see the needle on the tachometer go up a little bit. So we're coming around this curve, so I'm going to throw it into 3rd. I hear the engine a little bit, not a lot, slightly, but not a whole lot. And it's kind of nice to be able to hear that throaty rumble of the engine. And this is in the A3. So the smaller engine, the one with less intentional sport design, but still plenty of power. Did you know you could do this? So in a car with paddle shifters, how often does it happen that you're driving along, you're not going very fast, and all of a sudden you grab a paddle shifter and you see that you're in M2 or you're in manual 2 and you're driving and it gets louder and louder and it doesn't shift gears and you start to freak out. All you have to do is grab the right paddle for about 3 seconds and it goes right back into automatic. It's a safety feature. So sometimes in some cars you may have to, if you've knocked the gear selector over into manual, you may have to put it back in automatic or put it back in drive. But the car is set to put you back in automatic mode because it does not want you to try to drive with that car, with the engine roaring like that and not being able to drive the full speed that you need to drive. So if you do want to use paddle shifters, you can also usually just pull the paddle you want. So downshift on the left, upshift on the right. So if you're driving and all of a sudden you hit a really fun curvy part of the road and you have paddle shifters, go ahead and give your paddle a pull and see what it's like to drive. You can hear I'm in 3rd gear and then shifting up into 4th gear because I'm on this nice curvy road. And you can actually have a little more fun with your paddle shifters. And then when you pull up behind a slow truck and you know it's not going to be fun anymore, hold that right paddle shifter down for a minute and you go right back into automatic. Now we're in the Audi S3. This is the sport edition of the 3 Series. And it is designed to take the curves of the road and the hills and all the fun that those roads offer you. So we're going to take a quick jaunt up this hill and see how she does. No one behind me. Now I'm actually in 1st gear. You ready? I'm still not going very fast, so I can actually shift down. Now, one thing that's nice about these computer-operated gear shifters, the paddle shifters, or the computer-regulated transmissions is even if you get your engine speed up into the red zone, you can't actually damage the engine. This is a fun car to drive. I will give them that. Audi hit a home run with this one. Final thoughts on the Audi 3 Series sedan. Well, if you are a sedan driver, this is a great option. It's a great place to start your luxury car journey. It's affordable to somewhat expensive, but you get a lot for the money. It is a true Audi. It's got that great Audi tuning and suspension and responsive drive experience. And the cabin and the technology leave you wanting for nothing.